You have an exam to study for, but you just do not have the energy to be able to focus. You could have a sales pitch at work and just want to feel more confident in front of leadership. Working a 12-hour shift at the hospital. You have multiple kids to take care of at home and you might be battling postpartum depression. Companies that sell these drinks want to recognize your real human limitations and use it against you. Hi guys, my name is Jasmine. I was addicted to the little blue bottles called Feel Free by Botanic Tonics. They have kava and kratom in them and work on your brain like an opiate. I was drinking 9 to 12 bottles a day at the height of my addiction, and I've been sober since March of 2024, almost 2 years now, which is crazy to say. Today, I am talking about why I believe so many high-achieving women are getting addicted to kratom and kratom-based beverages. First, let's start by defining what this high-achieving group typically consists of. So think your entrepreneurs, CEOs, corporate professionals, stay-at-home moms, students, healthcare workers, fitness instructors, wellness coaches. Now, this can also be applied to men as well, but I'm talking about women specifically because I work with women who are struggling with kratom addiction or have just gotten sober from kratom. That's why we're talking about this today. So to give some very basic background information, what is kratom? Kratom is a plant native to Southeast Asia and has typically been used for herbal medicine. It was also often used for field workers when they would be lacking energy throughout the day and would need something to kind of pick them up during the workday. They would literally pick the leaf off of the kratom plant, chew it, and it would have more of a stimulant-like effect in comparison to the effect that we see a lot today. Kratom is marketed in many different forms: pills, extracts, teas, whole leaf. But unfortunately, what has specifically been happening a lot in the US is that companies are taking the kratom plant and modifying it to be extremely potent to produce that opiate-like effect. And where this gets even more sinister and scary is that they are putting this very potent form of kratom in quote-unquote wellness tonics and drinks that are marketed with very trendy branding to a very high-end clientele. A primary selling point of these drinks is that they produce a euphoric feeling. Now, the type of people that these trendy or chic wellness tonics are typically marketed to are people like your CEO, your Pilates instructor, your favorite wellness podcaster, maybe a sober curious friend, maybe for someone who's even looking for a caffeine substitute. First heard about Feel Free from the Skinny Confidential podcast, if that provides any point of reference. It's a very well-known wellness podcast, a little bit controversial at this point, but a lot of people heard about Feel Free from that podcast. They're known for high-end wellness products and a very specific demographic. I am also someone who loves coffee, matcha, adaptogens like ashwagandha, lion's mane. I'm a wellness girly through and through. This can also apply to someone who just loves fitness and putting good things into their bodies. Anyway, I was introduced to Feel Free, this kava kratom drink, in June of 2022 when I was newly sober from alcohol. I was very sober curious. I loved mocktails. Every time I discovered a new mocktail, I had to try it. And that's what Feel Free was marketed as. If you're a woman who fits any of these descriptions, you might be somebody who limits your alcohol consumption because we got things to do, especially if you like to be productive. I know the older I get, different things have a harder impact on my body. I don't drink alcohol at all, and some people may drink it very little. We have things to do, am I right? Here are some of the selling points of kratom-based beverages. Makes you feel more social without the effects of alcohol. Boost your productivity, makes difficult tasks seem much more enjoyable and manageable. Feel more relaxed. You might even get better sleep. Here's the big one. It's all natural and plant-based. Something that's all natural and plant-based can't be bad for you, right? If you are an entrepreneur, a healthcare worker, corporate professional, stay-at-home mom, all of these benefits literally sound amazing. It's like anything that can help us feel better and get more done as a high-achieving woman is something that we want to take part in. And if you were like me, of course, you're going to want to try something that has kratom in it, especially if at the time there is little to no information on negative side effects or addiction risk. Especially a few years ago, it was very, very hard to find information on kratom being addictive in the least bit. Sneaky thing about these companies that market kratom-based products is that they want to target your weaknesses. And really, this is just marketing 101, but I'm talking about these products specifically. Say, for example, you have an exam to study for, but you just do not have the energy to be able to focus. You could have a sales pitch at work and just want to feel more confident in front of leadership. Working a 12-hour shift at the hospital. You have multiple kids to take care of at home, and you might be battling postpartum depression. Companies that sell these drinks want to recognize your real human limitations and use it against you. It is normal to not have the energy to want to do something, to not want to be overly productive. We have this drive sometimes within us that is consistently telling us to do more and more and more. So if there's this legal substance that we can take that we think is not going to harm us, of course, we're going to use it to help us in any way that we can. These companies want you to love their products so much that you literally can't live without them. You maybe first take something like Feel Free, for instance. This is how I felt. I felt like, oh my gosh, like this is what I've been missing my whole life. And I feel so good that as long as I can take these forever, my life is going to be great. You know what produces the same effect? Opiates. That euphoria was something that our brains are never naturally meant to experience. This is why so many high achieving women and men get addicted to kratom, because they fully believe it is the thing that will make them better. I feel like so many women also struggle with kratom addiction because they feel the need to keep it all together for everyone else. And if you are someone who does not present as an addict on the outside, like I feel like there is a very specific stereotype around addiction. It is really hard to confess that addiction and be honest with yourself about it if you are, not to the extreme of like being homeless or living on the street. Like addiction does not discriminate and it can literally happen to anyone, especially these people who are really high achieving. I think they are at sometimes the most risk for an addiction to kratom. And just like myself, it started as an alcohol alternative and then it turned into something that I started taking at work, and I eventually could not live without going into withdrawal every day. A lot of women who are high achieving, who are addicted to kratom, are so scared of the physical withdrawals and having to have, 3 to 4 days to a week of just no obligations to be able to detox that they don't even consider detoxing because they don't want to take that time off, or they have so many responsibilities and they can't let other people down. But honestly, taking those few days off of work or whatever it is so worth it in comparison to losing your job, your family, your finances. Like there are so many bigger and worse long-term consequences of using kratom. And I know for me, I started justifying my kratom use as being good for everything. So first, alcohol alternative. Second, a coffee replacement. Third, I was able to have conversations with my boss easier at work in a toxic work environment. Fourth, it helped me kind of decompress after a stressful work day. So when you think about all of those situations, that is every single day, multiple times a day. People use it for a pre-workout, post-workout recovery. There are so many reasons to justify this addiction, and that is where it gets so sneaky and so dangerous. And if you are a high achieving woman that is battling your kratom addiction in silence, I just want you to know that you do not have to do this alone. You don't have to carry the guilt and the shame associated with this addiction. There is a path forward. I promise you, I'm a walking testament of that. I felt like I needed to keep it all together for everyone else because if I crumbled, it would ruin everything in my life. But I had to eventually crumble to get better. And ultimately, it didn't ruin my life. Like I got my life back because I was able to quit kratom. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I work with women who are either actively addicted to tapering or have just gotten sober from kratom to work towards maintaining long-term sobriety and happiness. The goal is to completely rewire your neural pathways to function without kratom. And that takes a lot of deep work, but it is great work. And that's through one-on-one accountability coaching. Trust me, I am someone who gets it. If you find these videos beneficial to your kratom sobriety journey, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.